We are going to start today's lesson by looking at some paintings. Well, we're going to be working on the Minnesota benchmarks of I can compare and contrast artwork made in different places and times. And I can use art vocabulary to talk about how art looks different throughout the world and history. Now, as you were looking at that art from before, you might have an idea of where it was painted. Can you guess? Yeah, it is. They are traditional paintings of the Far East. So paintings of China and from Japan. And on this page, I've gathered them. But in these two boxes here, I have put some paintings by the artist Winslow Homer. He is an artist that was born and raised here in the United States, so what we'd consider the West. And China and Japan would be from the eastern or far eastern parts of our world. But there are some similarities, but some big differences as well. So first of all, what do you notice that's similar? Yeah, they're both of nature. And we see animals or creatures in some of them. How about what are some differences? Sure. So we see some calligraphy. Asian art traditionally values beautiful calligraphy writing, as well as it would include poetry that we see here through these symbols. Another similarity in this Asian art, but that's, I'm sorry, different from these by Winslow Homer, would be the amount of white space or empty areas that are not painted in. That's a huge difference. Well, in Asian art, that is known as white space. It's also referred to, even here, as negative space, but it's that empty area, okay? Now, these traditional paintings come from some different beliefs. Buddhism, for example, is the appreciation of rest and peace, and they have a belief in having empty spaces for calm. Okay, another belief, another thing that they're trying to do is when you look at these paintings, they look like they're painted in as few brushstrokes as possible. By doing that, they thought they could capture the energy or spirit. That's called Taoism, or it stems from it. And the last thing is that blank, empty space. They believed it balances out those painted areas, and they truly believe that this white space where there's nothing is just as important as those areas where there is something. So those are traditional paintings of the Far East in the countries of China and Japan. So here we are in the United States. We've got Alaska, United States, and also Hawaii. But the Far East, so here's the West, Far East of our world would be over here. And those are paintings of this country, China, and this smaller country surrounded by water called Japan.